What's up, everybody? Aaron Smith here with the Real Estate Momentum Podcast, and I've got my friend Linzie Ewin. She is a co-owner of the Tracks Fitness Lab in Erlanger, Kentucky. What's up, Linzie?
What's up, Aaron?
So today's St. Patrick's Day, and if you couldn't tell, we were prepared. We understood the assignment. So the reason that we decided to get together, this is a fitness talk or a wellness talk, if you will. And you're listening to a show that we typically do about real estate, but these things are going to tie pretty well together. So Linzie, you've been with the Tracks for a little while now. Just tell us your journey with the Tracks. Like when you got started, when did you start with the Tracks?
Moved here in 2014.
Okay.
2014, started as a trainer, just
Employee.
Employee.
Yeah.
Yes, as an employee, coming in from background of helping open a gym back home in Evansville, Indiana. So had that background there with working full time in the gym. Had come to Northern Kentucky, had that conversation with the Tracks and joining on board there as an employee, coaching, got into then some personal training. Fast forward into 2018, bought into ownership in 2018. Fast forward now to 2022, and you and I.
Well, and so you were in collegiate athlete before that, right? So you played basketball, and then you went wild and went tennis.
Oh, I did.
To get the full ride.
Quite a funny story.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I never knew that until you said it the other day. But going back to 2014, what's that, 8 years now? Mm-hmm. You've changed a lot of lives.
Yeah.
You've helped a lot of people in all walks of life get better, right? So that's what we're about to talk about here is that in when did I join? 2015, the real estate company that I was with at the time put me through a leadership training. And I'm not sure if you know much about this story or not, but so this leadership training was one put on by Mark Devine, who wrote Unbeatable Mind. And he's got a CrossFit gym out in Encinitas, California. I think they've moved now. But he had a CrossFit gym in California, and he started putting on this academy for professionals. So my company, we all went out there. I think there was 21 of us. And they put us through this. It was almost like a really, really, really watered down Navy SEALs Hell Week. So it was like, again, I say Hell Week, but it was like we were babies compared to the stuff that they do. And, at that time, I'm in my late 20s. I was 28 years old, and I realized, oh, crap, like I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So you're on the beach rolling around in the sand doing all this stuff, but they also teach you some things with a PVC pipe and some barbell stuff, and we actually did some workouts there. And I came back and immediately joined the Tracks Fitness Lab in Erlanger. It was the CrossFit The Tracks at the time. And then I did what a lot of people do. Do you remember that?
I do.
I remember meeting you there at that time, but
I do.
That was such a blur in my life. So I was there off and on for, 8 or 10, 12 months, something like that. And then I bailed. And I thought it would be a good idea to go to a gym that was cheaper, something where I could just kind of come and go anytime I wanted to. And guess what? It didn't happen. I had kids, and life got in the way, especially being a real estate. At the time, I didn't have a real estate team. We were out showing properties all the time, so my schedule was unpredictable. So then, fast forward, I got talked into doing a Spartan race in 2019, and from that Spartan race came the second coming of the realization that I'm out of shape, unhealthy, and all that. So I called you guys up. And the first thing I did is I jumped into the burn program. So for a lot of people out there like me, I didn't know what I was getting into. So go into really quick our burn program at the Tracks. I obviously know what it is because I went through it for months and months. But I guess for anybody who was like me, and you know how I was in 2019, go through that really quick. What is the burn program, and what does the gym do for somebody who's new and trying to get back into things?
Yeah, so I like to explain our burn program as building your base, right? Like
okay.
at the bottom of that pyramid, we focus on body weight movements, cardio machines, as well as dumbbells, kettlebells, but we took away the barbell on that side of the gym in that program. so that we could take away that intimidating factor.
It is intimidating. And I remember walking into the gym thinking, man, I've gotten so far behind. Like I've lost so much. But it was really freeing to come in, and it was just moving. You know, you're moving. It's with some intensity, but you can control every bit of that.
Right. Did you feel that way? Like that it was less intimidating than a barbell?
Well, so let's talk about my mindset when I walked in there. When I walked in there, I was overweight. My eating habits, and when I say overweight, I wasn't like rock bottom. You know, it wasn't terrible, but you know, I had the dad bod, more than just a normal dad bod. And my eating habits, like I was pretty sloppy with it, you know, just eating anything and everything with no regard for for what it would do, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, with our job in real estate, everybody was of the mindset of like, oh, let's go grab a beer and talk about whatever. Let's go talk about buying rental property, or let's grab a beer and, like, you know, colleagues in real estate with my company and other companies, like happy hours and stuff. And, you know, what's the quote? You probably have heard this before. It's like the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to break. And like you wake up one day, and that's what I did. I woke up and I'm like, holy hell, I'm 33 years old. I've got 2 kids, and I can't even walk up the stairs carrying my 1-year-old without breaking a sweat. And I think it hit me in that moment that I am not the person that I'm telling myself that I am, and I'm not the person that I'm telling other people that I am. And the audio is not matching the video, right?
Right.
And I realized it, and I basically called myself a liar. It's like, you know, you're this successful business person, but behind closed doors, you're a train wreck. You know, your personal life's a train wreck. Not my marriage, so to speak, but just my health and mindset and all that. So let's talk about the mindset of a lot of people, new moms, people who are on medication. You know, talk about who comes to see you at the tracks, and what kind of life are they walking right now? Where do we end up taking people? Because I've already been there.
Right.
So let's talk about that for a second, if you have any examples on top of your head.
Yeah. I can think of Mark Kaufman
Yep.
as a member there. He came in high levels, with some blood work, with cholesterol was a little bit higher.
Yeah, he was taking medications.
He was on medication. He had previously been with us, went back, kind of doing his own thing, realized I need that. I need that community. I need that push. Within, I want to say 2 to 3 months, his levels had dropped, and he was off medication.
Just in 2 to 3 months.
Just in 2 to 3 months.
Wow. Okay. And then there's probably other examples too. Like I know we've got a guy that he just started, and I mean, he was 300 plus. You know, I'm not sure if you know who I'm talking about,
Yeah.
but he was pumped that what were we, 6 weeks, 8 weeks into his journey,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes in, he's down 20 pounds, he's moving better. You know, he's proud of the way he's eating now. And I think a lot of times we see a lot of people come into the gym who are not all that different from me. You know, you just kind of let life kind of take its course, and then before you know it, you look up and you're eating anything and everything. You look in the mirror and I won't say you're embarrassed, but you know you've been in better places.
Right.
So, you know, obviously you're a mom of 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Just had your second, and there's a lot of people that come in after having kids, and they've got this thing in their head that, like, this is going to be a really hard journey. What advice would you have, because you're going through this right now?
I actually made a post yesterday because I was struggling mentally. You know, I as a mother of a toddler and a newborn, you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping, and so it's almost like you feel like you're in brain fog a lot of the day.
Yeah.
And so just coming in and moving and getting that community. I've spoke with a lot of moms that are in that, and it's like, hey, I don't have time. You know, time becomes huge for a lot of parents, because it's like, hey, I'm on the go. My kids are playing sports and things like that. And that's where we've created this family atmosphere, you know, at the tracks. And it's, hey, we don't let you make kids be an excuse. Bring your kids.
Bring the kids in. Yeah, we have so many families that bring the kids in because when it comes time to actually do the work and make the donuts and just do the hard work, there's all these things that kind of we use as outs or crutches or easy things. It's like there's a reason that when the flight attendant on the airplane is going through the thing that we don't pay attention to, they're going through the seatbelt thing and they're going through all that. There's a reason that they'd say, put your oxygen mask on first. And that's because if you don't help yourself first, you can't help the people around you.
Right.
And you almost have to look at life in the same way. It's like if you don't eat the right foods, you're going to go to work hungry or tired, or you're not going to be able to perform at work how you would if you had a good breakfast or you had guidance, right? And that's what our gym is really good at, is guiding people. It's also really good when you can join a community of people that if you don't show up, they'll post in the group or they'll send you a text like, hey, where's Linzie today? Or, hey, hey, Aaron, what's going on? You sick today? What's going on? And it's like, man, I had a group of people there that were waiting on me to be there and I didn't show up. Like, I'm not doing that again. Right. So it's that accountability piece.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And so let's talk about, I just told just a snippet of my story, right? Drinking too much, eating like crazy, running wild with my real estate business. Like, it was just go, go, go. Every night I was out showing a house and didn't really, I would always hear my kids say, when are you going to be home? Or when can you play with us? Or when can you spend time with us? And and I did not know this was going to happen. And what actually happened was I committed to coming into the tracks with you and all the friends that we have there now for at least 4 days a week for 60 days. I was like, I've got to at least get that foundation built, right? Right. Well, that happened, and then it almost became, hey, I'm seeing so much progress here. I'm gonna keep doing this. It's not just a 60-day thing for me. I'm gonna keep going. And I kept going. I quit drinking. So that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, because it wasn't just, drinking or like the feeling. It was part of my social life that I created around me. So I thought it was almost going to be like I was losing my arm or something by not drinking anymore. But right now it's like I don't even think about it. It's not even a part of my life anymore. And I attribute that to the community that I had around me at the tracks. The other thing, and you've witnessed this too, is that I took my business from, X number of deals a year. I think it was like 48 deals a year in 2019 to we did 91 last year. And we're on pace to outpace that this year. And I attribute it to the mindset. So, you've been doing this for a long time. Talk really quick about mindset. When you're in the gym all the time, how are you mentally different than somebody who doesn't have their physiology connected up there?
That's it becomes my habit and routine, right?
Okay.
And I feel like since we've transitioned from the 6-week challenges we were doing years ago to now we're doing these 12-week kickstarts.
I love it.
We're seeing people, it gives me chills.
I know.
It gives me chills because we're seeing our clients create these habits. We'd see results in 6 weeks, and we still see results in 6 weeks, but people were searching for 6-week quick fixes. Mm-hmm. And now we've created these 12-week kickstarts where, these people have turned into, hey, after work, it's just out of routine, they drive to the gym. Hey, before work, they get out of bed, it's routine, they come to the tracks. Mm-hmm. And so it's we've seen those lifestyle changes already, and that's what's huge in what we do.
Well, and like going back to that topic of mindset, when people come into the gym for that first 6 weeks, it's like they're just kind of getting the wheels moving, right? Why would you stop moving the wheels at 6 weeks? Or why would you take the rug away after 6 weeks instead of allow those habits to get deeper and get deeper? Because, the mindset thing for me is like, if I go 3 or 4 days without doing some sort of physical activity, and this isn't a sales pitch for our gym. This is a conversation about how we as Americans, we as a society, we're in that Uber, DoorDash, that order my food on my app and just walk in the door and pick it up. We're in that immediate gratification society, and doing the hard work, walking through the gym door, picking up something heavy, going, getting your heart rate up for more than, a few minutes, right? Or, basically sustaining hard work for a period of time, that clears out all the cobwebs in the head. Not all of them, but the majority of them.
Right.
And what I found, so here's how I saw it affect our real estate team, our business, my marriage, everything. Like, so I usually go to work out in the afternoon. When I go home now, I'm more patient with my kids because I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy to get upset over, fingernail polish on the carpet or something like that. I'm more patient with my kids. I'm more patient with my wife. I'm more considerate. It's like my head's just clearer. I basically burned off all that energy that could have been used for, anxiety, and now I don't have the anxiety there anymore. And I feel like a lot of business people, doctors, attorneys, a lot of people who deal in high-stress jobs, real estate agents are just go, go, go. You don't punch a clock. You can't clock out of work.
Right.
So that all that stuff gets burned out, right?
Well, we have a couple others real estate agents at the gym. I think of Michelle,
Jane, several others.
Her success story, and she was on the borderline of being on medication.
Really?
Michelle. And she was borderline. She was on the line, and she knew that she needed to make that change. And she's seen great results. And made that lifestyle change. I actually had her Wednesday morning in class, and just seeing that from someone who's busy like you, and you don't have that time to clock out and come to the gym, or before it's like, hey, you got to pencil it in like a doctor's appointment.
Yeah. And I think one of the things we talk about in real estate a lot is because we're small business owners, right? I've got, if I'm a solo agent, it's just me. And, I have a broker that can answer some questions, but I'm out there running my business. I'm dealing with all the paperwork and everything. So there's a lot going on there. And a lot of times in real estate, we talk about hiring a coach, somebody who can be outside of our business, looking at the business decisions we're making, the marketing, the prospecting, just basically coaching us on our business. And, that to me is almost like when you come into our gym. So talk a little bit about how a fitness industry like what we're in that has a coach differs from just out there doing it on your own, that sort of thing. Because that's where I was. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. That's the conversation I have on a daily basis when I have new people walk into our facility is you don't have to think when you come in here.
Love it.
They come from going into Planet Fitness, and they're there 2 hours, not knowing really their workout regimen. They're just jumping from machine to machine, then getting on the treadmill for 30 minutes because that's what they think is right. And so it's, hey, we're structured. You come in, you show up for 5:15 class, the coach does the rest.
It's so awesome to be able to walk in. The workout's posted in the group, in our system, so that you can see the workout ahead of time. A lot of people don't like to look ahead of time because if they see what we're going to be working out, they're like, I don't want to do that today. So they'll chicken out. It happens.
Yeah. It's funny to know who does that and who doesn't.
Yeah. But the thing is like the beautiful thing is I was able to walk into the gym. My coach greeted me. Hey, welcome back. How was your trip this weekend? Or like, we're a community. We're a family at the gym, which is super cool. And then the workout's up there on the board. And then before the workout starts, you've got a coach who goes over everything, right? And if I've got a sore shoulder because, I did something silly over the weekend, or if I'm just kind of have a nagging hip injury or something, I'm trying to get back and get stronger, I've got a coach there to kind of guide me. Just like in my real estate business, I've got a coach that says, hey, when you make this hire, think about doing it this way. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. That's great. So you get somebody to guide you who's been there before. So business owners, right? We're talking to business owners out there, real estate agents, and just anybody in the community here in Northern Kentucky as well. What are some things that people may not understand about getting started with fitness. They've reached a point in their life where they're thinking about it, but they may be intimidated, something like that. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who was like me, kind of knew that there was something going on there, but it didn't hit me until I went through an event that was like, man, that really opened my eyes. So what advice would you give to somebody?
Have a conversation.
Talk about it?
Yeah. Come in and talk to me.
Yeah.
Come in and talk to me. Have a one-on-one. That's where I feel like the intimidation factor goes down, because they're having a conversation with a real person who, hey, I've been in this industry for 12 years. I've seen a lot of different people.
Yeah.
You know, from
all walks
weight
of
loss,
life. Yeah.
from weight loss to health to performance to lean out. And so it's like, hey, whatever your journey is, we can be a part of it. Just allow us to get in and help you.
Yeah, that's a really good thing, because a lot of people have this vision in their head of who they are, and they don't realize, like, you go to a doctor with a problem, they've already seen that problem. They know how to fix it. You don't need to be embarrassed about coming into a gym where everybody's got to start somewhere.
Right.
What other advice would you have? What would you tell somebody? So we hear this a lot, right? So we share a lot on social media where they're going to hear some loud noises. There's a barbell that hits the floor,
right,
or somebody's doing a pull-up in one of our videos. I'm intimidated by that. What would you tell me?
Everything is scalable.
Yeah.
Everything, we can modify everything. And that's what's cool about what we do is you're going to see athletes that are...
When you say athletes, you're talking about just members of the
sorry.
gym. We call them
Members,
athletes because
yes,
that's how we see them. Yeah.
Right. Everyone's an athlete.
Yeah.
Our 70-year-old
Yeah.
member is an athlete.
We've got 70-year-old members. We've got teenagers.
Right.
And everybody's an athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
But you might see someone doing a ring row. You know, hey, you're going to be pulling horizontally if you want to get stronger to do a pull-up.
Yep. Got to start somewhere.
And so that's what's cool about what we do is that we have those 12-year-olds in our teens class. We have 70-year-olds who are just wanting to live longer.
Yeah, they're not interested in lifting 225 pounds over their head. They just want to be able to get off the toilet without grabbing onto a handrail.
Right.
You know? So here's another thing. You know how real estate agents act, right? We're bouncing all over the place. Yeah. Most of us don't plan for breakfast. We don't plan for lunch, and probably don't show up for dinner because we're out showing houses. The nutrition part was something that I didn't really, first of all, I didn't understand it because I thought, just cut out the fat. Like, I realized, like, no, fat's the good part.
Right.
Fat's the best part, or one of the best parts, fat and protein, and then you got carbs and sugars and all that stuff. So, if you're talking to a group of real estate agents, they're bouncing out there like crazy, just all over the place, like most are. What advice for nutrition, just broad,
right?
Broad advice for nutrition would you have?
I've dealt with this a lot with clients, not only real estate agents, but also a couple of cops that were on the road a lot.
Oh, yeah. In their
Cops
car.
In the car. Margaret Ernst was one of those.
Yeah.
Mom of
Todd.
three that lost 65 to 70 pounds by just changing the simple factor of choosing better foods when she's out.
Okay.
So Chipotle, cops get 50% off. So that was something
I did not know that.
They do. And so
awesome.
that was like, she's like, I'm not going to stop getting Chipotle. And I was like, all right, well, we can make this work.
Yeah.
And so it was, not choosing rice for a little bit. Like, hey, we're going to down your carbs a little bit because we want to see weight loss. We're not going to completely take away your carbs, but we're not going to be, Chipotle tends to overload the rice sometimes. So just maybe, hey, let's get on the lighter side of rice. Let's stay chicken and veggies. Let's stay away from all the fat. We don't want guac and cheese. Let's just get a little bit of guac.
Mm-hmm.
So just simple changes like that took her into a year's worth of change. And she ended up losing 70 pounds within that year after her third child, 3 under 3.
3 kids under 3. And she's, and I've seen Margaret, Mags as we call her, but I've seen her lately and she looks amazing. And most of that has to do with nutrition changes.
It is.
So while we're on the subject, let's go technical or tactile here, right? So if I'm out and I need to stop and get food really quick, right? I'm gonna put you on the spot, like
Right.
restaurant-wise, right?
Right.
You already mentioned Chipotle, where you can adjust some things, like cut back on the rice, maybe do romaine lettuce instead of rice, and go double protein or something like that.
Right.
But what could be like my two worst options if I'm out there, like types of food? You don't have to name names or restaurants or anything. What are my two worst types of food, and what are maybe my top two options that I could eat while I'm out there on the run?
So first and foremost, I tell people to search for protein.
Okay.
Get your protein first. Fill up on that. So double chicken,
Yeah.
right? Double chicken there, and try to find your veggie option. Like fill yourself up on that protein and that veggie so that we don't go straight for the carbs. We don't go straight for the French fries from Wendy's. We don't go straight for the Big Mac at McDonald's and the fries. You know, hey, we're maybe choosing, they have grilled chicken now. Get a grilled chicken and take away the bun from the get-go.
So, well, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt
No, you're
because I got all sorts of questions and thoughts there. But okay, so go protein first.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to Chick-fil-A, grilled chicken, no bun, it's a good protein source.
Fill
Okay.
up on that. Instead of, a lot of times Chick-fil-A's fries are good, right?
Yeah. They're great. But
they're
in
good.
moderation. Yeah.
Right. But that's, hey, we're trying to create better habits while you're out. So, hey, get the grilled chicken, but also, what do they have? They have good salads at Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Choose a good salad as well instead of the fries as your side.
That's hard to do.
It is hard. And that's where it's, hey, I can eventually add those fries back in and, and then you're just, when you get into those better habits, now it's just, you do it out of routine. You don't even think about it.
So you say go protein first.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we avoid carbs? Like why is carbs, why are they evil? Right?
Right. But
I know, but
yeah,
I want you to tell me.
Right. Yes and no, right? Like that's where you don't want people, I don't want people to think, oh, Linzie and Aaron are telling me to do keto. I'm not, like.
I don't even do that.
Right. And I love carbs. Like,
Yeah.
But we want to use carbs for energy, right? And if we're out and we're out and about throughout our day and it's like, hey, I'm not working out today or I haven't worked out in a while, we just come to a realization where they also don't essentially fill us up, right? Whereas that protein source is going to fill us up. The fats, you even thought your mindset was like, fats are bad, fats making me fat. No. It's the overload in carbs and the sugar that's adding that. And so people are scared of fats as well because of the word.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they say because, adipose tissue and fat cells and all that stuff, but you got to realize, where does that come from? Right. And have you heard me have the conversation about the insulin and glucagon?
Yeah.
You want to explain it or do you want me to?
You go for it.
Okay, so I got all pumped up and excited because I'm on this journey and I'm like, holy smokes, I'm getting my energy back, right? As a business owner, I'm worn down to a nub. I decided to start getting into this habit of going to the gym. So I start going to the gym, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go take this level 1 course, this CrossFit level 1 course. And I'm like, I'm going to have this L1 training certificate. This is going to be awesome.
I remember when you texted me, you were like, I'm going to do this.
I was jacked
I love
up.
it.
I was so jacked
I love
up.
it.
And, when you have a passion and you're running towards something, there's just this energy. And I still feel that way. Yeah. But I'm taking this level 1 CrossFit course. And this is like the thing that I got out of this thing the most. It had nothing to do with working out. It was all the nutrition stuff. So there's a lot of people know that insulin is a thing. And we talk about insulin a lot when we talk about diabetes and diabetics and things like that. But what I learned is insulin is a storage hormone. It's your body releasing insulin saying, hey, there's some energy. Let's put that away, right? And things that spike your insulin are carbs and sugar, right? So I'm like, this light bulb goes off above my head. I'm like, holy smokes. So like, you take in a bunch of carbs. Name some bad carbs like white breads, just a lot like pizza.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of white bread in it and things like that.
Yeah.
It's delicious, by the way. I love some pizza.
I do too.
It's so good. But like you take in these carbs, or let's say that you beer, right? A lot of beers, especially the heavier, darker stuff, has got a lot of carbohydrates in there. Sugary drinks. you know, like sodas from
wine. I'm sorry, ladies.
Wine and alcohol gets converted into sugar.
Right.
Hey, there you go. It's not. It doesn't taste like sugar when you drink it, but
Right.
that's exactly what it is.
Right.
So then, when your insulin levels go through the roof, anything that you're shoving in your mouth has a possibility of getting stored. Well, pizza's got cheese and pepperoni and all the fats in there, right? So your body's just kind of finding a way, a little pocket for it, putting it everywhere that it can. So, and there's, you know, and I feel like as Americans, we've got that instant gratification. It's like, I'll just go to McDonald's for $5. I can have dinner and I'll be full. And they don't think about like, okay, you did that 20 times this month, so you got to pay the price now. And the price is paid with heart disease. It's paid, it's all the high blood sugar, high blood pressure. You're taking medicines. And like, there was a quote that we put out there. You remember what that quote said? I always try to remember this and always screw it up. It's like, you can either choose to pay for your fitness or choose to pay for your illness or your wellness or your illness or something like that. And it's just, which one do you want to focus on?
Right.
You want to focus on being sick or you want to focus on being healthy?
Right.
And honestly, like, this is a business real estate show, and this is designed to educate people on what we do as real estate professionals and help people buy and sell houses and help other realtors grow their businesses and their teams and everything. It all starts with the habits that we do every single day and the way that we treat ourselves every single day. Because if I'm treating myself like garbage, well, I'm probably not being 100% with my kids, probably not being 100% with my spouse, and I'm sure as hell not being 100% on my job if I'm not treating myself 100%.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
What else? What else is going on in your world of fitness? I know we got I want to talk about the real estate thing. So a lot of you who know me know my friend Garrett Gerard. He decides he's going to come over to my house because we have a mutual friend visiting. As soon as I walk through the door, Garrett says, "How many push-ups can you do in a minute?" And I'm like, well, here we go. I haven't even taken my coat off, set my keys down, and he wants to know how many push-ups I can do. So what did I do? Just like any other guy would, I took my coat off and said, let's go. So, you know, and so Garrett and I sit there in front of our wives and our friends, and we cranked out as many push-ups as we could in a minute. And it took us like 5 minutes to recover from this. It was terrible.
It can get nasty.
Well, you think it's a minute. Like, how bad could it get? Girl, let me tell you something.
How many were you?
I got 44.
I thought you were 40.
Which I was proud of. Cold, I hadn't even stretched out. So I was proud of 44 cold. And then, you know, so he rolls over and he's like, yeah, I got 44 too. And then on his way out the door, he's like, I was just kidding, man. I didn't want to tell you in front of your wife, but I got 49 push-ups. I was like, you SOB. Like, so it got in my head.
Right.
So here's what we're going to do. We haven't worked out all the details of this yet, but in having this conversation with you and knowing that I want to build the best real estate professionals in this entire region, we're going to put on a real estate, I don't know, what would you call it?
90-day transformation.
Yeah, like a real estate agent, home inspector, lender, title company, anybody in and around the real estate world. We're going to put on a 90-day transformation. And we're going to have a beginning date with a benchmark. So test out your push-ups, test out your running, walking, jogging, whatever we need to do to scale that. But we're going to test it out on day 1. And then on day 90, we're going to retest everybody, and we're going to see how everybody's improved. And we will probably have some sort of donation component there where we want to raise money for something, because if we're going to do something for a cause, we got to believe it in our heart, not just for ourselves, but we got to do something out there. So if you're watching this, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more on this real estate transformation because it works for me. My business has taken off. I'm much better at what I do because you actually came in there and helped build me up and cheer me on, and you've built a community that helped me do that. So we owe you a lot.
The more we can change, the better.
Well, and I think our society has gone so far to not taking care of ourselves that it's more important now than it ever has been.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for watching. Linzie Ewin's been our guest here. Check out the Tracks Fitness Lab in Erlanger. You won't regret it, I guarantee that part.
See you guys.
And we'll talk to you later. See ya.